Everyone wants to live an inspired life, yet so many people search for happiness following the footsteps of peers and taking advice from people who have different values and outcomes to which they're searching. There are people born into wealth, graduated from the best universities in the world, and there are people who have none of that and yet are living extraordinary lives full of fulfillment and reward. The purpose of this podcast is to share insights and strategies that allow you to question the status quo and think freely, so you can design your life and be who you want to be. We get one life. Time is our most valuable asset. I believe that when we're free and able to focus on meaningful work, we become better human beings. This is Always Free, and I'm your host, Jason Greystone.
Welcome to the leading podcast for financial empowerment and wealth creation. Subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss an episode. You can connect with Jason on social media and subscribe to the Jason Greystone YouTube channel for weekly videos. Don't forget to also subscribe to the weekly newsletter to receive frequent educational content and action steps to help you design your life so you can be who you want to be. For news on all future events and updates, go to jasongreystone.com.
Alright, welcome back to the podcast. First of all, I want to say thanks for everyone who subscribed to this podcast, rated the podcast, and left a review. If you haven't done that already, please do that. But those of you who have really helped us get this thing to number one. We launched 3 episodes of this podcast, and we managed to get to number 1 in the world in the investing category. We got to number 3 at the moment and climbing on the business category. And I even see it go up to around 51 in the overall charts of all podcasts in the world. So thanks very much for everyone who's rated the podcast. It's obviously had the effect. People have got the value. And it really reinforces my reasoning for wanting to do this podcast in the first place. So thanks very much for everyone that's voted and rated and subbed and left a lovely, kind review. And if you haven't done that, it'd be much appreciated if you did. So we can keep this thing at the top of the charts, keep the awareness growing, and if you're getting value from it, it helps to share this value with other people as well. So this is episode number 4, and as you've probably grasped by now, I'm kind of taking you through a journey of how I came up with this ideology or philosophy of Always Free, and it really helped to create a newsletter that I've been putting out, and there is a framework to it, and it's and hopefully so far you've kind of gotten a bit of background of where I'm from, how my sort of mind started to work and things like that. But I just want to take a step back and just sort of really refresh on what this whole framework's about. Because if you're a subscriber to the newsletter, you get this thing weekly. In fact, issue 22 went out as you're listening to this podcast, I should say, and the framework behind the newsletter is wealth mindset, wealth accumulation, wealth acceleration, and wealth inspiration. So what that framework really does is it allowed me to, get to where I am in life, I'm not saying that I'm the greatest. I'm not saying that I'm the best or anything like that, but I'm just sharing with you my sort of framework that I've managed to use to get me to where I am in life. And obviously, you can do the same in your life and get to where you want to be. It's not about copying anyone. It's not about, trying to be anyone else. It's just about designing your life and being who you want to be when it comes to particularly financial empowerment, because that does filter down. It trickles down onto every other area of your life: wealth, fitness, health, relationships, your job, all of that kind of stuff, business. So the framework is wealth mindset. And the reason we go to wealth mindset first is because we need to have the ability to take on opinions from others. So listen to the opposing side, or take advice from someone, whether that's your parents, your peers, your friends, and listen really with an open mind. Okay. But the next thing is to question the hell out of that. So you get the mindset from kind of taking on the advice that they've given you, whether that's your parents telling you to get on the property ladder or go and be a doctor, all that kind of thing. And then asking yourself this question: what are my goals in that particular area, in that particular field. Where do I want to be? What do I aspire to be? And what are my values in respect to that? Whether it's, on advice on health or fitness or, money or property or whatever, financial independence. And then just kind of ask yourself where you want to be, and then look at the person giving you the advice and ask yourself, well, have they achieved that level of success that I'm looking for? Or are they on the way there? Are they nearly there? Are they even on the same road that I want to be on? And once you ask yourself that question, it allows you to free up your mind and not just base your opinions on others, the assumptions. Oh, well, that's what they've always done. Oh, well, it must work. So-and-so done it. Or, yeah, but you've got to get on the property ladder. That's the way. Or you've got to get a good job. You've got to get good grades at school. Ask yourself, just look at that person and ask yourself, have they got the results that you want wherever it is you're going, and does that align with your values? The next thing is wealth accumulation. So the next phase, okay, is once you've got the right mindset, is taking control of your personal finances, controlling your income, okay, because there's business finances and there's personal income, which are completely different things, and I'm going to be talking a lot about that over the podcast. Paying yourself first, saving, optimizing your expenses, allocating your income, automating your income, building a business, passive investing, things like that. And then there's wealth acceleration, which is things like having control of your income so you can raise your income, leveraged income, speculation, compounding, trading, all that kind of stuff. And then the wealth inspiration is the final pillar of the framework, if you like, and that's really just comes with actually, doing it, going to do it, taking the steps. So many people buy stuff, buy a course, or say they're going to start doing something, and you don't build momentum by it sitting on your shelf. You get results by taking action, by starting, and then you get motivated because you've seen a result or you've put something in place, and then you build momentum. You keep at it and you keep at it, and then you end up designing your life. You're designing your life each day how you want it to be. So as that framework, okay, the first part is mindset. And it's very, very heavily mindset, because if you're going to go through this journey with me, we really do need to break away from the status quo. We need to stop listening to what other people are saying, particularly, if they're saying you're crazy or you're mad for doing that, right? Just because someone says you're crazy does not mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that it's what most people don't do. And I look at how 2% of the world's population controls something like 90% of the world's wealth. And that is a very obvious chart to me to say, I want to look at what the masses are doing and do the complete opposite. I want to do the opposite to what they're doing. Okay? Because I want to be in that 2%. I want to be in that 5%, whatever. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is just as kind of another myth. Last week we went through, money is evil, that kind of, where people say money's evil, my family's more important than money, and which is all great, right? It's all great. So I just want to carry on a little bit about that into some more myths this week, because it's one that I get come up time and time again, particularly when they're looking to trade, or I've given them some advice on maybe how they should allocate their investments, and they're like, someone said that's a bad idea, and they're always basing their opinions on what other people have got, and they don't necessarily have the results that they're looking for. So, why are they taking advice from them? I don't know. But the myth for today, and it's one that I've come up against time and time again. It's something that still shocks people, and they find it really, really difficult to, come to terms with. But that is the fact that people want you to succeed. Okay? They don't. Unfortunately, most people don't want you to succeed. They just don't. Most people don't want you to succeed, whether you like to believe it or not. And it's not necessarily them being evil or horrible or hatred or vindictive. It's just hardwired into humans to react and, repel as soon as they feel as though someone else is reaching a level to which they feel is inferior to where they feel they are at the moment. So it's not an external, okay? It doesn't even mean the person is better than them in any way. It just means that they've reached this level where they feel uncomfortable with the fact that what they're projecting onto the person who's striving to do more is above where they feel they are now, and really highlights issues that they're unhappy with themselves. And it's a natural instinct, believe it or not, to want to project onto that person, because from a survival standpoint, it means that that person is going to survive longer than you as a human, because they're becoming more efficient, they might be becoming more healthy or fit or whatever it might be. They can withstand the survival of humanity longer than you, and that is hardwired into us. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about people not wanting you to succeed, because if you've got this thing in your head that you've got support from people, or most people, you're probably wrong. And I just want to sort of bring you back down to neutralization on that playing field, so that when you go and work on yourself, whether that is your health or wealth or whatever it might be, you're going to have this in your mind, and you won't get discouraged from going on and sort of being what you want to be and achieving your goals. So let's just think about for a second, and I'll talk to the females here because it's very, very common. I've come across this myself so many times, right? All the women listening, you're going on this diet, okay? You've decided that you're going to start Monday, and you're having a drink out with your girlfriends, and you say, right, Monday, I'm going to do this diet. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to get in shape for the summer. I'm going to wear a bikini on the beach, and your girlfriends will say, yeah, or one of them or two of them will say, yeah, I'll do that with you. It might even be your sister, right? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it with you. We'll start the diet Monday. We'll get clean. We'll go running together. We'll go to the gym together and all this kind of thing, right? So the weekend goes over and everyone's got a heavy head. And on the Monday, you wake up and you are determined, right? It's stuck with you. You're like, right, this is it. It was a changing point. It was a turning point for me. I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to prove that I can do this, and I'm going to go and do it for me. And you start drinking a lot of water, setting out your meal plan, going for a run, setting out a workout routine. And over the next couple of days, you're really doing well. You're sticking with it. You feel good. You've lost some water retention. And a couple of days or towards the weekend, your girlfriend rings and says, how's it going? You say, yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm on this diet thing. I'm training all week. I feel really good. I don't want to touch alcohol. I don't want to eat crap because I'm really feel good. And the girlfriend says, oh, you're still doing that? Oh, you did it. Oh, okay. I'll do it with you. Let me know when you go next, and I'll do it. Well done. I'll come with you next time. Just let me know when you're going to the gym. I'll come down there with you. Send me your meal plan. So you do that. Couple of weeks go by, maybe 3 weeks go by, and you are still hammering it. You're at it, right? You've shredded some pounds. You've lost an inch off of your waist. Your thighs are getting toned. You're looking good. You're feeling good. A couple of weeks later, your friend comes round to your house and she says, oh, wow, you look really good. What is it you're doing? Tell me what you're doing. You say, well, I thought you was going to train with me. I've got my meal plan. Did you get my meal plan? They say, yeah, I got it. I will start. So you carry on, right? You carry on, and your friend goes, yeah, I'm definitely in. So you crack on, you keep doing it, you don't hear from your friend, and then a few weeks later you've lost, you've hit a real milestone, you feel really good about yourself, and you want to organise a night out just to have a little celebratory drink and just sort of reward yourself for where you've come. So you all organise a girls' night, and you go round your friends to get ready, your girlfriends, and you're sort of in your underwear getting dressed, and the girlfriend goes, oh, I think you've, don't lose any more weight. I think you're going to go a bit too far. I don't think it doesn't suit you. I think, right? And what happens is they almost try and talk you out of getting to where you want to be. You might not be ready yet. You might not be at your goal yet, right? It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what people think is too far. You're not at your goal yet, and they try and talk you out of it. It's like, yeah, but you've gone too far. You've gone too far. I wouldn't lose any more. This sound familiar? Any ladies listening? And this could be your friend or your sister or whatever. Anyway, you crack on, right? You feel really good. You go out, you have a drink, you feel really good because the next day you get straight back on it. Straight back into your healthy eating, your fitness, you're doing really well. And then, a few months go by and you organise another night out, right? All of a sudden, you strutting your stuff, your skirt's got a little bit shorter, right? You ditch the tights, you now got your pins out. You've got, it's summer. You've just got a nice glowing colour and you're feeling good and you're going out for a night out, for a meal. And all of a sudden, your friend's like, clicking her neck about, she thinks she's God's gift, talking about you to the other friends, bitching about you to the other people. And you literally haven't done anything to upset any of those people, and yet they start doing that and they start trying to project fears and negativity onto you so that you stop striving. Now here's the thing: when people strive to be better and they strive and go on to want more, everyone around you, the majority of people around you will be happy for you up until you get to a point where they feel you're doing better than they are in that particular area. It's not that you are it's not even that you are doing better than them, because obviously that depends on what metrics you're using to measure better. Okay? But it just means that in their head, when you get to a level where they perceive you as doing better than them, and you've unrooted something inside of them that they're not happy with, then they will project that onto you and they'll want you to fail. They will deep down want you to fail. So, there's something like, I heard there's this statistic on Facebook where, people are 9 times more likely to share negative news than happy news. If you put something on there happy, it won't get shared. If you put something on there negative, it will get shared. 9 times more. So that says it all, right? That says it all. So it's not their fault. The problem is when people decide to sort of dim their light. They kind of, I don't want to upset that person, so I'm just going to go back to how I was and I'll just settle. I'll just carry on how I was because I don't want to upset that person or those people, or, everyone around me seems to be negative about my new venture, so I'm going to not do my new venture. Instead, I'm just going to do what they want me to do, right? And they've got no interest in your life, like what you're doing with your life. Honestly, they've got no, they've literally got no impact on what you do in your life. So it's bizarre. But the problem is people try and please everyone, and there's this clash of polarities, if you like. It's like, well, I don't want to do that, but so-and-so wants me to do that, so I'll do that. And I do want to do that, but so-and-so doesn't want me to do that, so I won't do that. But I just want you to know that you're never going to keep everyone happy. Never, ever, ever. In fact, this is a massive problem because there is an opposing opinion to every single opinion. All right? There is, there's people who are dedicated to peace on earth, all the hippies, and then there's people who are dedicated to war, the military. There is people who are, there's liberal and Labour, left wing, right wing. There's people who don't agree with abortion, and then there's people saying abortion is fine, it's her choice. There's people who say yes to gay marriage, and there's people that say no gays. There's people that cover every inch of their body up with a black sheet, and then there's people who are literally dedicated to getting naked on Instagram every single day. So you have got an opposing opinion of everything you try and do. There's always going to be an opposing opinion, and people try and keep too many people happy. The most people you should aim to please is 50% of the people. And that includes your family as well. Your family are included in that. You're never going to please everyone. You're never going to keep everyone happy doing what you want to do, right? So you need to be aware of that. Now, the problem right? This is the major shift, if you like. This is the turning point that most people struggle with. They realize that the more people that they don't keep happy, the more they're disliked. So if you think about the president, for instance, President Trump, because he's well known and he's got such a level of success that he's the president, there is literally hundreds of millions of people that hate him. So he's got to be all right with the fact that hundreds of millions of people hate him. So what most people do is they go, well, I don't want to strive to be that big or that, do that well, because I don't want that many people opposing my opinion and therefore hating me. So they go, well, I'll settle for a CEO. So you think about Jeff Bezos, right? And then they think, well, if I'm a CEO of a big company like that, well then, there's still going to be probably thousands of people that hate me. So I probably don't want to do that. I'll just be, some kind of director or a general manager kind of thing. And then they think, yeah, but if I'm a general manager, I'll probably have hundreds of people still hate me. So I'll just go to like a little store manager. And there might be 10 people that hate me. And they think, I'm not even comfortable with 10 people hating me. I'm not even comfortable with 10 people with the opposite opinion of me. So what I'm going to do is I'll just get a job. A couple of people might hate me in the office, but hey ho. And what happens is they dim their light. Their circle of influence, they restrict their circle of influence because they stop striving because they're not comfortable with the amount of opposing opinions by trying to keep everyone happy when they're striving to be better. And it is an absolute tragedy. It really is. I guess what I wanted you to take home from this episode of Always Free is just when you are on this journey, if you're going through this journey and listening to this podcast and you're really going to take control of your life, just know that whether it's your health and fitness, whether it's your finance and wealth, which we're going to be going into in major detail over the course of this series, your wisdom, your self-development, your mental clarity, whether you're reading books and trying to study towards something, your business, your job, your family, your relationships, your social leadership, any of that stuff, even your spirituality, whether you're working on becoming more in tune with yourself and you're going to do some meditation and that kind of thing, whatever it is, there's always going to be people that, one, disagree with what you're doing, genuinely disagree with what you're doing. Two, are telling you not to do it because they've based their opinions on assumptions or what they've heard from their peers, which may or may not have the life that you want or achieve the goal that you're going for anyway. Three, they will try to stop you doing once they feel like you've got to a level that has brought out some inner unhappiness of their own situation, so they'll try and stop you doing it from a survival standpoint. And finally, there's always going to be those people that feel like when you're striving to do more and they start to feel inferior, they're going to start bitching, they're going to start hating, they're going to spread some negative vibes, negative energy. You may fall out with them, but you need to ask yourself this question: who are you on this planet for? Who are you living for here? You got about 80 to 100 turns around the sun. How are you going to spend them? Are you going to settle and just literally go along just to keep other people happy and end up full of regret on your deathbed where you're asking yourself, I wonder what would have happened if I'd have done that? Or are you going to actually go after it and do it? So just to recap, listen to advice from others, okay? Have an open mind. Question the out of their advice. Ask yourself what your values and what your goals are in that area. Then look at the person. Ask yourself if they've got results or they appear to have achieved what it is you want to achieve. If the answer is yes, take their advice. If not, dismiss their advice and go after what it is that you're after and stay on mission, stay on purpose and design your life and be who you want to be, because you're here for you and no one else. And even if you're talking about your kids and you've got kids and you're thinking, well, no, I'm here for them. That's true. But if you don't get yourself right first, what example can you be to them? How can you provide them the best you can absolutely provide? How can you support them financially, emotionally? How can you actually be in the best position to serve and help your kids and support your kids and your family if you haven't got yourself right first? So really, really heavy episode on mindset and just kind of breaking that myth of trying to keep everyone happy and people wanting you to succeed, because you're going to go through a series of friends, a series of associates, a series of, you could look up something called Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell, and it's really a model in which most of the Hollywood blockbuster films are created. And it's about this whole journey of development, and when you get to a certain level, your life isn't the same. You've been enlightened, and now people around you don't understand the new you, and you have to go on and find new circle of influence. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I'll give you a little exercise. Go and find people that have remained friends with people from school all of their life. Okay, so go and look at the people around you who have kept the same circle of friends. I'm talking about a circle of 3 or 4, 5 friends, and they're still friends today, and maybe they're 20, 30, 40 years old, and look at their lives. Look at what they've achieved in their lives. Because I'm almost certain they will complain about money, they'll wish that they had more time, they'll wish they were healthier, and I guarantee that they won't break out of that circle because they don't want to lose the friendships of those that they've had all their life. And this could be you. It could be you. And I'm not saying that you aren't necessarily happy. I'm just saying if you want to grow, you have to change. There's no way that you can be the same person that you are in every single area of life. If you want to grow, you have to change. A butterfly doesn't become a butterfly without that crystallization process. You have to embrace the fact that you're going to have to change if you want to make a difference. And although friendships are important, if it's true friends, you should want your friend to do well and do what they want to do, and you should support them no matter what. So that's it for this episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review for this podcast. I'd really appreciate that, and I'll see you next week.
Subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss an episode. For news on all future events and updates, go to jasongreystone.com.